welcome to Campaigns of the Plains. We are doing Moss of the Week, the prequel series, again tonight, and we're picking up with episode 2. In the previous episode, we met a brand new cast of characters tackling a mystery that happened in between the first season and the upcoming second season. Before we dive right in, remember to go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow us, and also make sure that if you're more of a podcast listener, go to your favorite podcast platform and follow us there. So last time we played, we met a team. We met Michael, or Mickey, Toni, Trixi, and David. A wayward group of hunters, or truth seekers, it would seem, who all have something in common. They've all experienced the paranormal, the supernatural, and they are searching for answers. They were contacted by a mysterious figure who we found out was Susie Barton. She had brought them together in Rapid City, South Dakota, to help her solve a mystery. She had been bogged down with other commitments and had a very limited staff, and so she decided it was time to build a new team. Someone who could beat back the forces that go bump in the night. The team set out investigating a series of what seemed to be werewolf attacks across Rapid City, and they stopped at the house of the professor, which Michael knew, and who he had been working with studying UFOs and aliens. When they got to the house, they found that the door had been beaten in and that there were blood smears everywhere in the house, and that there seemed to be deliberately left claw marks everywhere. After a thorough investigation, they found that maybe this wasn't everything it seemed to be, that perhaps the true nature of this attack was being covered up by this supposed werewolf attack, and that perhaps they were investigating something to do with the fairy realm. And so, without further ado, we dive back in. So, you've all reached a hotel, the Rushmore Inn, and have set up for the night. What kind of arrangements did you want to set up? Did you want to get a room for each, or are you sharing rooms?
I'm probably gonna get my own. Unless,
okay.
I don't really know these people yet.
Okay. Fair enough.
Why do you have to know us to sleep with us?
Oh, I don't necessarily, but I don't. If this is gonna be somewhat professional, I don't really know you all. I just assume that not everyone would be comfortable sleeping in a room with a bunch of other people they don't know.
I was in a sorority in college. So, it happens.
I feel like that was going somewhere else, but it's...
I mean, could have.
What about you two?
I was planning on just rooming with Toni. Us girls got to stick together. But I feel bad leaving Michael by himself.
I mean, I can get a room. Fine. I was just gonna crash with you guys, but that's cool. I can have my space.
Well, most of the rooms come 2 beds to a room, so I was gonna see if Trixie wanted to bunk with me.
Oh, okay. That sounds nice.
The
Well,
boys can figure out their own shit.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm guessing Michael will have to find his own room then.
I will get my own room, I guess.
Okay. So you rent out 3 rooms and lodge up for the night. Are you doing anything before going to bed?
No.
I want to finish the scrawling that I was doing back at the house. I was taking notes. And I would even try and practice it a little. If
What are
I
you doing?
try and get the wording right, get the enchantment right.
Mhm.
And when I do, it would. So I'm gonna roll to see if it works. That's a 10, so that's a success. So I'm going to have the piece of paper with some scrawling on it on my bed, and I'll look over at Toni and see if she's paying attention to me.
I'm definitely staring at you.
Regardless if she is or not, I'll still do the ritual, but I'm more curious if she is interested in what I'm doing, or if she's kind of just left her own, doing her own thing.
Okay. It's the one we discussed.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you cast it.
It requires magical words and runic symbols. So I would take out some components from my bag, maybe some gold dust or something, and strewn it about in a circle around me on the bed. And I would start chanting
Trixie?
and reading the ritual.
Trixie,
okay.
you're not gonna catch me on fire, are
Toni,
you?
what are you doing while she's doing all this?
Can they hear me?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear you.
Are you gonna catch me on fire?
No.
Are you gonna
promise I'm not
catch the
trying to
bed
hurt
on
you.
fire?
I'm trying to perfect this this spell that I'm tinkering with. It's a better way to show the past than just meditating about it and telling you. I feel like it's just easier if I show you. And as I do that, I release the spell, and you can see from my vision previously the little boys playing Nerf Nerf guns, right?
It's Nerf or nothing.
So you see them in our room as if I saw them in my head, basically, kind of astral projection, ghostly image. And, they can't see us, but we can see them, and we see them playing, and then see them get scared of something and run, and then disappear as I go through the wall or something. And so after that finishes and it goes uninterrupted, I just look at you with anticipation. I did it.
How do you react, Toni?
That was
She
fucking
quietly
tits.
claps.
That was the
Okay.
How did you do that?
So you cast this, and it's pretty perfect. I will say, just because you're not casting it in with a piece that these people have touched or anything. Just for some flair here.
Sure.
All of a sudden, next to Toni on her bed, all of a sudden you see 2 naked men, and one's just going to town on the other. This
What the
ghostly
hell?
image, and you hear grunting and just
Make it stop! Make it
what
stop!
the
The
hell?
boys are I think that one of the guys are right next to us.
Oh no! Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
What?
No.
My God! I hope they change the sheets in this fucking room.
Oh my gosh.
And with puff of like magic, the two men and the still running and playing boys disappear.
That's quite an image.
Why?
So yeah, I can now show you the past.
I didn't want to see that.
As well as what happened in your bed. I'm sorry.
Change beds with me.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll just get rid of all this like gold dust and stuff that's on the sorry, I'll just and I'll like hastily like tap on the bed and that's only I can't do math. That's a 8. So I'll tap it to try and like clean it up, but it like glitches out and like some of it cleans up and some of it like sparks like starts on fire or something. I'm like,
Okay,
oh, shit,
okay,
shit.
you know what? Okay, hey, my credit card's the one
As-
on file for this room, please.
So as keeper,
I don't know how I'm going to explain a bed charge.
as keeper, we, in our group, we usually let the magic users choose the glitches, but I can choose one for you. And so I think the glitches is that there is a big explosion of this gold dust, and you turn around and Toni is just covered head to toe in gold dust.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Sorry. I'll move beds now.
It's Vegas all over again.
I was just everywhere.
You know what? The first time I've been covered in gold dust, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go take a shower.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
You can stay on that bed. I'll sleep on the fuck bed.
Okay. I'll try and maybe clean your sheets while you're in the shower. I can
Please
do that.
don't do any more magic.
Oh, okay.
Please.
I'll just be quiet.
My credit card's on file for this room. They're going to charge me if you catch anything on fire.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll just sit quietly and read.
How did you learn how to do that stuff anyway?
My parents kind of taught me. They're witches. That I've kind of grown up around this my entire life. I've always had trouble like getting it right. I don't know why. It just always seems to backfire on me for some reason. The neighborhood kids had a nickname for me. I didn't particularly like, but they used to call me a jinx.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about magic, but I do know a little bit about skill. And you can't be good at it without practicing. So keep doing your magic, but don't set my bed on fire.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll keep practicing and
But the most
hopefully,
important thing is to have faith in yourself.
Yeah, that's
You
It's
seem
good.
really nervous, so I don't think that you have a lot of faith in yourself. You can't do it unless you tell yourself you've already done it.
well. I usually can do it. It's just sometimes it doesn't always. It's not always right, or it doesn't always. I don't know. It sometimes hurts people. So that's not great. But that's kind of why I've got to practice, right? Like hopefully, the better I get at it, the less it hurts people. Unless I want it to hurt people, right? Like that's different.
Right. Yeah, I used to be really, really bad at hitting the target on center with the gun at the precinct, but, I kept at it, shot somebody in the foot once, but now I get perfect shot every time.
Well, hopefully their foot's okay.
Oh, yeah, it healed.
It got
Oh.
better.
Yeah, he got a bit of a limp, but...
He can still walk.
He took an early retirement, but it's all good.
No, it gives him
The
character.
last time he'll slap me on the ass.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got divorced soon after that. Not because of me shooting him in the foot. He was a bastard.
Well, then he deserved it, it sounds like.
I'd like to think so. Fate works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, it sure does. You have a little glitter about to go.
Yeah, I know. It's you know what? I went to Vegas once to a party where there was lots of glitter like this, and I needed a shower then, and I need one now. I'm gonna go wander to the shower.
Okay. So as you clean up the main bedroom and she goes to shower, are you other two doing anything before bedtime?
You hear really strange noises.
Yeah, you got rooms that were kind of in a block altogether since you came one after the other. And so I'll say that the girls' room was in the middle of your two rooms. So you all hear, oh. Yeah.
I like the sound effects, honey.
You're welcome, Internet.
Just screen clip that part.
Yep.
That's just the trailer.
Yep.
He says, this new season, it's fucking amazing. Fucking amazing.
Yes. I love it.
Sounds like that guy does too.
I'm just going to assume that someone's gonna have a HBO bill.
Yeah, right. There's some
sure.
there's some pay-per-view going on.
Mm-hmm.
Trixi's
Yeah.
weird. I think in my room I'm just setting up so I have it's a laptop, but I think it's like a briefcase laptop, and I'm just gonna set that up on the other bed and
Or
try to
just pick on each side.
yeah, it's just really big, right? And so he'll probably set that up and try to set up a home base office. And I don't know if you can connect to dial up then. I'm not sure how that all works, if you can get online. I know the internet was a thing.
In an old motel, probably not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's
Not unless we were in a 5-star that you
yeah.
could pay for
Yeah.
internet. Do you remember that?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember staying in hotels when I was a kid, and if they were really nice ones,
Yeah.
you could pay for internet.
Yeah, I assume there's
access.
not part of the network, but he would try to just set up his thing and just try to do any research that he might already have on there, and then
Right.
add see if you can put the info that he got from the professor's computer and try to store that on there so someone can't steal that.
Spreadsheets.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now, just to kind of clarify, I mean, I know that you, Michael, have used the internet
Yeah.
it's an emerging new technology, but it's very in the early burgeoning stages where not a lot of people have it. It's very expensive to get, and just isn't around a lot. But let's I'm going to in game Google something. However, depending on your background and means, I could afford you maybe one of the first laptops that were invented. It's very slow. It doesn't it's clunky. It's very heavy, but there are laptops.
Yeah, because it says I get one, and I I was Googling if they existed. The internet's been around since 86, 87, but it's not the internet we know. It's more of an interconnected network.
Yeah.
So I think he had I think he would have a computer he took from college, but I imagine he probably can't get online. I don't think he could do that, but he could he has cases that he's saved on there and has floppies that he could be switching in and out.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I guess I imagine it.
Yeah, so you probably brought with you a very complex web of different cords reaching everywhere, and you have a few extension cords because you don't have enough outlets for everything, but you have a floppy disk reader attached to your clunky laptop,
It's like
and
an old IBM or
like
something.
you have a few other gadgets that you carry with you when you're investigating, things of this nature, and
Yeah. Super high tech for 1990.
oh yeah,
Because he totally
this is top of the line.
borrowed it
Imagine-
from the computer lab that he works at the computer at
Right.
the campus.
Yes. I imagine I mean, maybe why don't you dive into how did you come across all this equipment? Like, do you just put all your money towards improving the equipment you use to search for these things?
I guess in my mindset, he was going to college and was studying one thing, but got interested in computers there and kind of got into programming, and then has an internship work study program where he works for the computer lab for that college, and that's how he met the professor. Was because they were both kind of geeks of that time, and
Right.
were messaging back and forth on the computer lab message boards. And so I think when he found out something was wrong, he borrowed some equipment from his position that he probably is not going back to.
Gotcha.
We'll see how it all
Okay.
plays out, right? That's in my headcanon. That's what I see.
Right. Okay. I like that.
Okay.
All right. So you're copying over some files that you have taken from the professor's home office, and are you doing anything with that information or anything else tonight?
I think he's just trying to cross-check anything he might have already heard about, using keywords like fairy, pixie, and sheed, because that's something that he probably hasn't been studying before.
Right.
Because he's been more focused on extraterrestrial, his experiences.
Mhm.
But he is trying to figure out what the professor's mindset was, because clearly he saw some sort of link, and he's trying to figure out what that link is.
Mhm.
And then he's probably Googling, not Googling, but he's probably cross-searching werewolves and amethysts, see if there's anything that pulls up on the stuff that he has previously researched, and he's probably, if anything, he's doing one of those writing down things on the hotel memo board, or pieces of paper by the telephone, and pinning them to the
Right.
wall, and trying to do the string theory of this is this, and he's doing that.
Right.
That mind fuck.
Yeah.
In his
It's
own little
sticky
room.
notes and yarn.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of pacing. I'm sure he's making coffee with the really shitty coffee maker that's there, where it's you have to go into the bathroom and fill up the coffee maker, the coffee pot with sink water from the bathroom, and put it in there and brew the really shitty Folgers coffee, and he's just sipping it from the hotels, whatever, what is the Mount Rushmore or the Rushmore Inn or whatever, one of their
Rushmore
shitty
Inn.
coffee mugs that they have, and just pouring another one and just trying to stay alert and make connections.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. So, yeah, you're definitely beautiful minding it
Exactly.
in your hotel room, and if someone were to walk in and see this, they might have some questions, but yeah, you're in the zone right now.
The AutoZone?
Yeah.
Yeah, the auto zone.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, are you just role playing this, or did you want to do anything with this? Did you want to investigate mystery?
Can I
or
investigate mystery? Is
try
there
and figure something out?
Yeah, for surezies. Let me.
Oh.
I'm drawing, but let me go into my. Sorry.
Okay.
I think I'm a plus. That investigate mystery I think is sharp.
Sharp. Yep.
Yeah.
I think I have a +2
investigate
to
mystery,
sharp. Let me double check. I got a couple things open on here. So yeah, if I can do it investigate mystery to see if I make any connections. I rolled a 10, and then if it's plus sharp, I believe that's a 12. Yeah, that'd be
Nice.
a 12.
You hold 2, so you can ask 2 questions about your mystery.
So I guess I would ask, what is the connection to the Sheed and the werewolves, or the Sheed? Like, what is the connection to the Sheed?
Right. So you are kind of searching through your files and like attaching like different strings together and all that, and you do come across something about like early curses in like human history, where like vampirism and like lycanthropy, like turning into a werewolf and things like that. Some scholars believe that these may be related to like early fairy lore. And so like there might be a connection there where like the werewolves might have some sort of hookup with fairies. So and then let's see. I will also say, as you're searching the professor's files, now that you had kind of time to sit down and look through them, you do see connections.
Okay.
You see that UFO sightings and abductions typically involve a bright, blinding flash of light and being in some sort of place against your control and not being able to move or act or do anything of your own volition.
Uh-huh.
And in the cases of fairy sightings, at least according to the professor's notes, like fairy tales involving fairies involve like seeing bright shining orbs and being taken away to the fairy realm where your will was subjugated and you weren't able to make decisions for yourself and you had to obey them and serve them. You start seeing there's a lot of parallels between these UFO abductions and these supposed fairy abductions. Anyway, that was a lot, but you also rolled well. So, what's your next question?
I guess I would try to look to see if there was like, so I see that connection, and like see if there's some sort of connection to werewolves. Like, where do they come into this? Like, and like, and you had something about curses. Is like, are these people cursed by fairies, and are they like, like my thought is like, are these people who are cursed with like lycanthropy, are they like the thugs for the fairies? I guess okay. I'm trying to like see if there's like some sort of like flow chart or hierarchy of these like cryptids.
Right. I'll tell you this. So from what you can find out, werewolves, at least the ones that exist in this world, like they're their own beings. The connection lies in like early days where maybe an original werewolf came in, and you do see like tales of fairies transforming regular people into animals, and you maybe make the connection that, oh, maybe it's because fairies turned humans into animals that we got the first werewolves and other shape changers. And perhaps like, well, there isn't necessarily a kindred, like fairies might feel a connection to them.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like he would read all that and then like pass out in like the extra bed, like coffee cup in hand, and just like from like an overwhelming like coffee high, just like finally his body just like hits a wall and just like passes out for the night.
Okay. All right. Well then, David, anything you need to accomplish before bed?
Nope.
Find that movie that the girls are watching.
I
It's called Fairy Tales.
Okay.
I have accomplished what I need for the day. So.
Fair enough. So, you all settle in for the night. It's been a long day. It's been a long drive to get here to the relative desolation of the prairie, the plains, out here in the hills. And you all, one by one, click out your lights. And so we pan back for a moment. And in the foggy parking lot outside the Rushmore Inn, we see a van pull up. It reads Jameson Security on the side. And a figure opens the door and steps outside. We don't see its features. He just strides forward to the office. And no one really hears what happens inside, but there is a scuffle and then silence. And the man walks out carrying a ledger, presumably with all the room numbers and who is it rented to, and makes his way down the hall, passing door after door. We see the figure pull out a key with the attendant in the motel unconscious. It wouldn't be hard to take one. And he slips it in and unlocks the door. And he hovers over a bed, looking down at his prey.
Concerned. Concerned.
Is someone about to get ganked?
Everyone, I need you all to roll a sharp check for me.
Sharp check.
Sharp check.
Oh, I'm not
Ooh.
sharp.
Ooh, crap.
Am I sharp?
Just straight sharp, but not.
Straight sharp.
Am I
Straight sharp.
Oh, 12!
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
9.
9.
8.
8.
11.
11.
Damn.
All very good. So Toni, you're having a dream. You're dreaming about the one that got away. Not a lover, of course, but that killer you can't find, that case you can't solve, and in your dream, it just you're racing down a hallway, and at the end there's a door, and you fling it open, and there on top of a desk is a pile of papers, and you rush over, you see this pile of papers, and it has the answer. It has the answer right there. You know exactly who to hunt down. You know who to persecute. and you grab it, and it just melts in your hands. It's just nothing left, and it just seems like no matter what you do, you can't find the truth. Trixi, you wake up. There is a shadow standing over top of Toni. It's a hulking figure. Just seems to be standing at the end of her bed, just breathing heavily, staring at her.
You're just gonna fucking let the shit happen?
Does this creature look familiar to me?
You do have a flashback to your vision you had. The professor's house before it got attacked. Of the creature standing in the doorway.
Okay. I am going to Do I automatically attack, or do I try and reason with this thing? I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna yell, "Get away from her, you bitch!" And I'm going to try and cast magic to inflict harm.
All right, roll it.
That's 11.
11. So you're inflicting harm.
Yep, and I'm going to use my burn everything.
Oh,
Right.
God. My deposit.
So, it does 3 harm to an area. I'm going to do 3 harm, ignore armor, magic obvious. So
Okay.
it's not going to do like fire necessarily. It's just going to ignore armor. So it's not an area effect.
Does this
Okay.
wake me up?
But it so like lash out, like burning flames come out of my hand directly at him, and it's very like obvious and loud, and so hopefully that wakes her up.
Yeah, there is as a flamethrower shoots
Trixi!
out of your fingers at this figure.
Stop catching
in the
things on
dark.
fire! It's a
And,
one rule!
yeah, Toni, you wake up right away, and you just see this dark, flaming figure at the bottom of your bed.
On second thought, keep the fire. I pull my magnum out from under my pillow and I shoot it.
Okay, roll some kick ass.
Okay. What's my tough?
I will say,
11.
because when you kick ass, it does have a chance to give retribution. So, as it's howling to the sky, it like starts flailing around, and it like knocks a lamp over to your direction, and you're gonna take well, we'll say you'll take 1 harm for that, so as it shatters against you. You rolled an 11 for kick-ass, so how? Let's
3.
see.
Did you want to do
3,
extra
close.
damage? Did you want to?
Yeah, you get an
Loud.
extra for that.
Very loud.
so-
I hope a gunshot wakes our neighbors up. I will
I think
also say,
Oh, God, I'm your neighbor.
Fireball might have done that too.
I also have Occult Confidential, so the first time that I observe a monster in action, I can ask a question from the Investigate Mystery.
Awesome.
Oh.
What
Let's-
the fuck is this?
So you can see that this is clearly a bona fide werewolf.
Werewolf? Werewolf?
It
Werewolf?
is on fire.
Flaming
It is a
werewolf?
fiery werewolf.
Flaming werewolf?
And let's resolve. I want to resolve the damage though. You obviously what was the damage for your weapon?
3.
First off,
3.
3, and then what is your added effect? You can either take one forward or give one forward to another hunter. You can inflict terrible harm.
I'm gonna force.
one less
I'm
harm.
gonna force it where I want it, which is
Okay.
away from me, maybe in a corner.
Okay, yeah. So you shoot him with this little hand cannon, and it just goes sprawling back, hitting the TV behind it, and shattering the screen to bits.
God damn it! My security deposit.
And it's going to, I think, reach forward and grab the mattress and flip you over in retribution. You'll also take one harm.
Okay.
Okay, so you have forced it back, and it is in your room. Now, for Michael and David, you hear a loud howl, a gunshot blast, and some shattering glass. What are you guys doing?
I'm immediately like out of the freaking bed, probably having fallen asleep fully clothed from a long day. I'm grabbing my service weapon and I'm gonna go investigate.
Okay. You open your door and I assume check both ways just to kind of check your surroundings. You do see that the girls' door is wide open.
Well, that's where all the noise is from. Do I see Michael out yet?
Michael, what are you doing, Michael?
He'd probably stir from that because the room's in the middle. You said,
Yes.
so it's pretty close. He would probably drop the cup of coffee that he has, and he only has like a small gun. He'd probably grab that and run to the because in my head it's like an actual motel where it's like you walk outside and it's like the parking lot. Is that what it is? One of those, like
it's
the room
it's a
all
motel.
next door.
It's like all a single story.
Yeah,
all the rooms are
right next to each
accessible
other.
to
So it's not
the
like
parking lot.
Yeah, so he'd probably run outside to see what's
Okay.
going on, and then I, depending on timing or whatever, would see David and the door and go from there.
Okay. I will say that as you two are getting roused and grabbing your weapons, it will be the wolf's turn to react. So, having been set on fire and shot, the wolf looks at you two and begins to run out the door, like on all fours. He is just bounding and leaping off towards a van that is parked in the parking lot. And as you guys are rushing out, you do see this wolf just leap out the door and head off into the parking lot. What are you two doing?
Can we take some shots at it?
Yeah.
Get the license plate.
Well, that too. How far away is the van?
I would say it was parked closer to the office, so it is probably like, we'll say 100 feet away.
Okay. Probably not going to be able to see the license plate from that far. But, yeah, I'd like to try and take some shots, but the van that it's going towards, in case it gets away, what are some, defining features?
So you do see on the side of the van, there's like a colorful blue and green logo. At least you think it's blue and green. The light's pretty dim out here. There's a street lamp that sheds a little light, but that's closer to the street. It's you see You do see a J. One of the words begins with a J at this feat. Like I said, it's dark. So, but one thing that does stick with you is you're like, I swear I saw that earlier tonight.
This looks like the one that we saw at when we were going to the house.
Right. All right. Did you say you were taking a shot at it?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you roll kick some ass then?
Oh boy. Am not tough. Although that's not bad. 6. Oh, so that'd be a 7.
7. Okay. So you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. Okay, so I will say you shoot it. What damage does it do to it?
It's 2 harm.
2 harm. Okay. It's pretty fucked up looking right now. Like it's kind of limping. You can see like bald patches from some sort of fire. You don't know what's happened, but it looks like it's already seen a fight, and so it actually is going to not attack you back, and it's going to keep on going for the van.
It's out of this shit. Okay.
Michael, what are you doing?
I will also take some shots at it.
Okay.
I am also not tough.
Roll me some kick some ass.
So let's hope I roll well. I rolled a 6.
Okay.
I think, because yeah, I have a -1 to tough.
Oh, okay.
So because I rolled a 7, I got a -1, so it's really a 6. And I just got a little baby pistol.
Hey, that's an experience point.
That's my second experience point.
It is your experience point. Okay, so you shoot and it just trails off above its head.
Get out of here!
Go! No one wants you.
Yeah.
The van now has a bullet hole in it, though, right?
Let's say that again.
The van now has a bullet hole in it? Maybe.
You know what? Why not? I will say that the missed bullet hits the van and
Hey, that's
ricochets.
good for something.
So there's definitely a dent in the van now. So, yeah. So, I will say that. Well, I guess we'll go back to Toni and Trixi. What are you two doing now? The werewolf has jumped out of the room after you two assaulted it.
I will shimmy out from underneath the bed that was flipped on top of me, and then I will run out after the boys and the werewolf and see if I can take another shot at it in my silk button-down PJs.
Okay. Why don't you kick some ass for me?
7?
7. Yeah, it will take some harm. Is that 3 again?
3.
Okay. All right. Very fucked up now. You can tell you hit it in like its hindquarters, and now it's really hurting and like kind of slowed down a little bit. What are you doing?
Well, if I can make it out there to cast another like firebolt at it, I will try.
Okay.
I don't know my range though. It doesn't have range.
I mean, I would say you can shoot it with your magic if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I will try and shoot it with another. I'll do lightning bolt this time.
Mm.
Oh, that's not good. That's 6. That's 6.
6. Okay.
So.
Oh, let's look here.
So it just fails.
It does fail.
You use a luck point to make it work.
I could use luck point, but I'm okay with letting it
Okay. I will
Let's just
say.
make sure you're a failure. That's
Yes,
what we know now.
I will say that as part of its misfire, your bolt actually turns to lightning and shoots up and hits a transformer on a power pole nearby, and all of a sudden you hear an audible and you knock out power to like a quarter of Rapid City.
Jesus.
Well, the cops are going to be here soon.
Yep,
They
and
probably
all
were
of a sudden
anyway.
that street lamp that was lit up goes out. So it is almost pitch black out here, except for a few stars that might start be poking through the clouds that are covering the sky tonight. With that, it is the werewolf's turn. He is hurt badly, but he continues to his van. I'm going to say that he does reach it, gets inside, and you hear it fire up and tear out of the parking lot. And you're left with this chaos. You start seeing now some of the other tenants here start poking their heads out, wondering what all the commotion is.
God damn. You have your
you
badge.
see
I clearly... Okay.
What are you doing?
Oh, no, we're good. Keep going.
Okay. You see a groggy office clerk stagger out of the office holding his head. There's a lot of confusion going around, and everyone in the hotel or the motel seems awake now. So, what are you doing now?
I'm telling everyone to just go back to their rooms. I'll flash
Okay.
my badge if I have to.
Why don't you go ahead and manipulate someone?
Cool.
Can I help?
If you'd like to.
Sure.
What do I have to roll?
Cool.
Help is
Roll your cool.
I cool.
I actually. So you said manipulate someone.
Mm-hmm.
I do not help you.
Okay.
I got a 5. I'm not cool. Apparently.
Oh, hey. That's a 12.
Well, you didn't even need me.
Awesome. All right, so on a 10 plus, they'll do it for the reason you gave them. So you start flashing your badge around, and like people see the badge and they're like, "Oh shit, okay, this is some fucking sting or whatever," and so they go into their rooms and lock the doors.
Because they're probably like predators because they're seen in the fucking Rushmore Motel.
Are you kidding me? They go back to their... This is
Like-
South Dakota. This is like... They go back to their rooms and they open their curtains. They stare.
Yeah, most of them are cheating on their wives or husbands,
Oh,
so
I just
they
imagine-
definitely don't want to be interviewed by the police and make it public
I
record.
just assume they're going back to stir some meth in the bathtub. I don't know how you make
We're in a
that.
hotel!
Yeah, there are a few, druggies too.
I just want them not.
and
What kind of
they
hotel
didn't
did we
wake
get?
up
I
for
thought we
this,
got a
so-
decent one.
Meth. We're on it.
And so, you flash a badge. Toni, you are just like, you're rattled. Like, you've seen some shit in your days, but this might have been one of the closest calls ever. You've never had someone breathing down your neck over top of you.
Yeah, I'm
while
just
you're
trying to
laying
convince
asleep in
people that, I'm with him and it's cool, but they don't take me seriously because I'm nervous and also because I'm wearing fuzzy slippers.
Well, and it's the 90s and you're a woman.
And that too.
Right.
Honestly.
bed. Yeah.
I don't have my Power Woman suit on right now. They
Right.
can't take me seriously.
Yeah. Martina McBride, no wait. Shania Twain had not come out with "Man, I Feel Like a Woman." Therefore, your status is lower in the 90s. I'm sorry.
Rude. It's rude.
It all hinges on Shania Twain.
All of it. Just all of it.
Yep.
Can I, as I see that Toni is wounded, can I like gather her and be like, let's just go back to our room and we can tend to this later. And as soon as we get back, I will try and heal her.
Okay.
With some magic.
Okay.
Oh no, you don't need to do that. It's fine. It's just look, it's already healing on its own.
What? Wait, are you magic? Can you magically heal on your own? Is that a thing?
No, I just for some reason I've always just been a fast healer. Just like really weird.
Just for clarification, Toni, do you actually have an ability that allows you to heal fast, or are you just
it's called
pushing her
it's called
away?
Asphalt Jungle. So I actually am immune to all harm that are 1 or under.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
So you saw me get hurt, but there is no wound.
Oh,
She's tough.
interesting. I could have swore. Well, I guess I'll just heal myself then, and I will heal myself because I took damage.
Please don't catch yourself on fire.
That's 9.
9. So you just heal 3 to 1, I believe, right?
Yeah, 3 to 1 ally close. Yep. So I will just heal 1 to myself. I only took 1 damage.
Yep.
But
Okay.
I would have taken out one of my scrolls and started like ritually casting a spell, which I take like some bandages and start like ripping them up from my bag at like as a way of a component, expendable component to cast the spell. So I
Is
will
it
do
still
that.
like the middle of the night?
Say that again.
Is it still the middle of the night?
Yeah.
It is the middle of the night. You look over to a clock in the room, and you see that it's flashing. But also, one of you looks at your clocks, and it's not flashing. It is, we'll say, it's about 10 or 12:15 at night. So.
I slowly start to push my mattress back on top of the bed
Mm-hmm.
so that I can go back to sleep.
As soon as you finish pushing the mattress, I'll be like, "Oh, I'll help you with that," and I will try and cast some more magic.
No, please stop with the magic.
That's a 10, and I will just instantly put you to sleep, like just zonk out.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, like a Disney movie, you start just spinning and floating in the air with this mattress swirling around you, and the sheets kind of like wrapping you up like you're a swaddled baby, and just lays you down into the bed, and like all of a sudden you feel very drowsy and you're out.
This is really nice. Not a worry.
Well, that was easy. And I will shut our door and just go to bed.
Okay.
Mind the broken glass.
Yep, I will sleep. I don't care. Like I'm just tired. I just want to go to bed.
You shake out the sheets a little bit and get the glass as far away as possible, and you're back to sleeping. Are the boys doing anything in all this chaos?
I assume Michael would just watch the girls just like go back in the room and be like it's over, and probably turn her back around and make a pot of coffee, and I think he smokes now. Just sit there and smoke and drink his coffee and just
What the fuck is this?
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So, just another sleepless night for Michael.
It's
Like
the
many before
90s,
them.
man. Everybody smoked. It's
Yeah.
fine. Don't smoke. Don't smoke.
Okay.
Yeah.
David, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, when everything finally calms down, I think I'll just be returning to my room.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
I've
So.
seen some shit.
Mm-hmm. So, with your attacker vanquished and gravely injured, you doubt you'll be seeing him for the rest of the night, and you all settle back into bed, or not. But the rest of the night seems to go uneventful, and you rise the next.
Hold up. Your audio got weird.
It's like synth.
Yeah, right? It was very poppy.
Hello?
Yep. Okay, you're back.
Okay. Hold on, I'm making a note, so... Okay. Yeah, so the rest of the night goes uneventful, and you wake up, and what would you like to do with your day?
I get up real bright, fancy, and early in the morning. I get my next day power suit on. 'Cause she's got another outfit for every day. You know, depending on the weather. Is it warm outside today?
Yeah, it was kind of a cold 4th of July, but today's a little warmer. It's, a little humid. You can tell that there's been some rain in the area the last few days, and it's just it's turning into a little bit of a muggy day already.
Okay, she'll put on some shorts then today, like the baggy paper bag style ones from the 90s with belts, and just get the blazer. It's a little warm for a blazer, maybe just a blouse.
Okay.
And then she'll go and wake up David.
Okay. You wake up David. David, you hear a loud dun 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 at your door, rousing you if you're still asleep or
Nope, I've been
catching
awake.
your attention.
I have coffee.
Say again?
I've been awake.
Just outside the door, I go, I have coffee.
And yeah, I let you in or whatever, I guess. Sweet. Thank you.
I didn't know if you took cream or sugar, so I brought both.
I'll take both. Well, I guess.
So that happened.
Yeah, it did. So.
That girl Trixi, she's got some really interesting magic. She set that werewolf on fire. With magic. She also showed me phantoms of the past. At some point in time.
What does your room look like?
What?
What does your room look like?
There's some glass on the floor from the TV. Werewolf,
But you. Oh, huh.
She didn't set the room on fire, which I'm honestly surprised. I'm also happy about, because I can't imagine that it would be cheap for me to replace the furniture in that room.
Yeah, well, I don't really know that much stuff in this place would cost too much to replace at all anyway, to be honest with you.
That's true. She said me phantom ghosts of you guys fucking on my bed.
Oh!
Who knows how often they change the sheets in this place.
Okay. I heard something.
That's what it was. Probably.
I just assumed you were into, interesting pay-per-view.
Oh, that's not my kink. I'll tell you about it sometime, though, if you're interested.
Okay. That's an interesting thing to just bring right up to someone you just met. So...
I almost died yesterday.
Anyway, okay, well that explains why I'm definitely assuming I was a werewolf, but that explains
That
why
was definitely
it
a
looked
werewolf.
really rabid. I think is a great. It
I
was kind of
didn't-
dark.
I honestly didn't have time to check if it was foaming from the mouth.
Well, could have been. I mean, it's fine. Either way, so I think we need to definitely follow up on that van.
Yeah, did you get plates?
It's too far, I couldn't see it, but I was able to.
Pull a good description of what it looked
I've
like.
got a good description. Also, Michael shot it, so it narrows it down pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, how
to
many
vans
cars?
with bullet holes.
Yeah, how many vans are going around with bullet holes?
If
in this
anything,
place?
he probably made it easier to find it.
Good.
Quick thinking on his part.
Yeah, that'll be helpful. Okay, so what do you want to do? But I think that Michael and Trixie were gonna go to the toy store. Is that what we decided on?
Yeah, I think that's what they were doing. So we should go to the precinct.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So, you're gathering your stuff for the day. Michael and Trixie, are you doing anything to get prepared before you go out?
Trixie would probably have been passed out, so she would probably require Michael to come wake her up, essentially. And
Leave
she
the
probably would
20-year-olds to go
would
do
be-
things.
she probably would be embarrassed that Michael saw the room how it is, and she would start picking the room up by hand. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I can just quickly clean this up and get ready, and I'll be ready in just a little bit. And like hurry you out of the room as you hear just like shit goes flying everywhere. You know what, like hearing women get changed. But half hour later, she's like, "Okay, I'm ready."
Okay, I'll be in. I got coffee in the other room if you need it.
Oh, gross coffee. But
Oh, I'll have yours then.
oh, okay. I mean,
Sweet,
I don't-
2 for me.
Yeah.
I don't need coffee. I slept a whole like 6 hours. I'm fine.
Oh, I didn't sleep.
Oh.
It's like my two lives talking to each other.
Fucking sleep.
I passed out, and then werewolf screams.
It's
So,
either gets 6 hours, feels perfectly fine, gets nothing, is dead.
right.
Did you want me to help you sleep? I mean, I put Toni down just like that.
No, I'm fine. I just don't sleep after being attacked by a werewolf.
Look like a baby.
Sounds
Could've been the
some
magic
kinks
there.
coming out here. Oh, yeah.
That's understandable. Should we get going to the toy store? I'm curious what kind of toys they have.
Yeah, let's take off. I imagine they've got some pound puppies, Teddy Ruxpin. We'll see.
Do
Stuffed
do
werewolves.
they
Who
have-
knows?
Beanie Babies yet? Is that a thing yet?
No, that wasn't. It wasn't
No.
for till the mid '90s.
Yeah.
Dang.
Okay. So your two groups head out in the morning to your respective locations. Let's go ahead and we will swing over to this toy store. So, Trixie and Michael roll up to this toy store. Which vehicle did you take?
Well,
Pro-
probably mine because I don't know if all 4 of them made it. The other cars are probably at the lookout, aren't they?
Yeah. We gotta
It's
go
up
back
to
for
you
'em.
where
Yeah.
you decide to leave your vehicles, but
I
We
can drive.
take the Silverado.
okay. So you roll up in this Silverado, very loud truck, and you pull up across the street from this toy shop, and you go in, and it's like a nice looking place. Like you see that there's a lot of traditional toys in here. Like you can see they're definitely kind of pushing like the old like wooden blocks and all of that. But you also see a few aisles where you see a few modern things like plastic action figures, and other more contemporary toys like you have
Nintendo.
the erector sets. You have Transformers. You have
Cabbage Patch dolls.
yeah, there's probably a few Cabbage Patch dolls. And you see
Pound puppies.
there's a few
Yeah,
people
is it
in the
Is it
store.
Pound puppies?
I think so.
Around this time, it's mostly like
Strawberry shortcakes.
grandmas and house moms. They're shopping. And there is an older gentleman that is running the counter up front.
How does he look? Does he look shaken?
So this man looks. Well, he's wearing kind of a dark blue vest over a white dress shirt. And he is, I don't know how to describe it. He's maybe like older, maybe 50s to 60s. He is, he keeps kind of a beard. It's all like pearly white. And his lock of hair is all white as well, and kind of swept back in a very gentlemanly style. Very well kept man, and he looks like he's definitely like he's not one to be trifled with. He looks a little stern, which is odd for a toy store owner, and he looks very watchful, like he is making sure that everyone who shops there is being honest. Yeah.
He doesn't look hurt or anything, so I don't think he's our assailant.
Okay,
Yeah, no, he looks.
fine.
You don't see any damage on him, any scars, really. At least not what you can see. All you can really see is his face because his shirt and his vest and pants all cover up the rest of him. So.
I imagine I'd probably just like walk around and look to see what's there, and like pick things up and kind of look at those, but really look people shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of watch him watch the other people, I guess.
Okay. So you're kind of investigating this area. I'll say that because Susie kind of pointed you in this direction. Maybe this might be a read a bad situation territory.
That's sharp.
Yes,
Mhm.
plus sharp.
That is a 10.
10.
Yeah.
You get to hold 3 then.
Okay, that's a lot, right?
Yeah, it is. So you got 3 questions to ask.
Okay. What do you think we should ask?
The questions as written to remind you is what's my best way in? What's my best way out? Where are the dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? What's the best way to protect the victims?
So, I guess.
I'll also accept any question
Yeah.
you might have. So.
Well, I would assume the biggest threat is him. But is there? I guess was there one like? Is there something we haven't noticed? Like, is there any like?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do. So as you're kind of picking through the toys and wandering the aisles, kind of scoping out the place, you do see uh, a young man who's wearing a similar dark blue vest as the old man, and he seems to be some sort of attendant, uh, uh, stocking the shelves and such. And you can't help but notice he has a little bit of a limp to his walk.
Trixie, look over there. Do you see him?
Yeah. What about him?
Look at him. Like, he looks hurt. Kind of limping a little bit.
Oh,
Do you think he could be our friend from last night?
it's possible. I mean, I didn't see him not change,
Yeah.
so he's limping though. That's definitely a bad sign.
Yeah. Do you think he'd recognize us? I mean, should we go talk to him?
He might recognize us.
Yeah. I mean, he'll recognize you. You lit his ass up.
Yeah, maybe you should talk to him. I can hang back and kind of be your backup.
Okay. I would probably pick up the closest toy, some sort of like stuffed animal or something,
Mm-hmm.
and go over to this guy and just say, "Hey, how you doing?"
So he turns around and looks at you, and you see in his eyes this immediate recognition. And you see his lips kind of curl up, almost like he's snarling. And he says, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Oh, I'm just shopping. In town visiting a friend. He's got a couple kids. I thought I should maybe show up with some toys for him. You know what I mean? Seemed like the nice thing to do. It's not very nice to show up at someone's house and not have anything, right?
And he's just kind of like staring at you, breathing hard, and you see he kind of glances to the side and then calms down a little bit. And then, right. Is there anything I can help you with, sir?
Yeah. What do you think of this? And I just show him the toy. Do you think they'll like this? They're pretty young. Their dad's a professor here in town.
Sure, they'll love it.
Yeah. Do you go to school here? You look pretty young. Do you go to the school?
I'm homeschooled.
Oh, awkward. What do they teach you? You look like you're pretty fast.
Fastest.
Is that your dad over there?
No.
Oh, he's not the leader of your pack? Just your boss.
Look. We just wanted to talk with you. You shot at us.
Oh, I think you knock at someone's door if you want to talk. You just don't let yourself in. I don't know who raised you.
I was raised by wolves.
You think wolves have manners?
He just has this like low guttural growl resonating up his throat, and then he looks to the side again and he quits.
Oh.
Since I'm hanging back, can I see what he's looking at?
Yeah, he's looking at the guy behind the counter, and the guy behind the counter is shooting him daggers.
Okay.
He's clearly keeping this kid in line.
Can I walk up behind Michael and try and manipulate this guy?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll charm.
Okay.
7.
Okay. So whatever you're trying to make them do, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now and show them that you mean it.
So I'm gonna ask him, what did you want to talk about by showing up at our hotel room in the middle of the night while we were sleeping? What could you have possibly wanted?
Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? We've just lived our lives in peace. We've never hurt anyone. And now all of a sudden you're sending hunters here? Tell you what. You answered my question. I'll answer your question, huh? Why is a group of hunters in our town?
Because people are being murdered?
So what? The werewolves are immediately to blame?
Well, I mean, I saw you breaking in the front door of the professor's house. So, yes?
He says, what the fuck are you talking about?
And I will... Are we kind of secluded from the rest of the store?
Yeah, I'll say, like, you wait for some of the other customers to kind of walk by, and as soon as this coast is clear.
I'm going to try and do the project image to try and show him what I saw.
Okay.
And see if I can recreate it.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh. That's only a 7. So
Okay.
I only get glimpses that are potentially misleading.
Okay. Yeah, so very true to the original image that you had in your head. You kind of fast forward to the door busting in on the professor's house, and just this snout with bared, like, blood-drenched teeth poking through, and like that's all you can show. And the guy just looks at that image, looks at you, and says, "Neat trick. So I guess all of us wolves just look the same to you."
What? How do you distinguish each other? Like, yeah, that.
It was a snout. There wasn't shit you could see on that.
But I mean, what man?
Is this all you're going off of?
What humanoid furry creature do you? I mean, how do you? Yes, I will say you all look the same to me. I'm sorry. You look like hairy men with snouts. I've never seen a werewolf until yesterday. Now I've seen 2.
Well, it wasn't us. We are not committing these murders. We hunt fucking deer, fucking bears. All right. We have no interest in starting a war with the humans or with the hunters. Like, we don't want that. Okay? I was there to, like, ask you why you were chasing after us. Okay? When clearly it wasn't us. Like, if you look at all of it, like, it's not like it's a full moon and we went hog wild on them. Like, obviously, like, it's a setup job. Okay?
But who would want to set you up? And I'll dig in my bag and I'll pull out the amethyst and say, does this mean anything to you?
It means jack shit to me. I don't know what's going on.
What do you know about the Sheed?
The Sheed?
Okay, nothing. I don't know.
Do I look like I run the pack, dude? Like, I was asked to go and ask you guys some questions. Maybe shake you up a little bit, okay? I admit. Alright? I wasn't supposed to be gentle per se, but, like, come on. Like, I'm just trying to do my job. I wasn't gonna hurt you guys. And then you go off and fucking shoot me and light me on fire.
And I'll hold up my hand. can I see any like visible damage or anything that he sustained from the previous night?
You're looking, and like there are maybe like the remnants of scars, but like for as badly as you guys hurt him, he's healing pretty fast, so he probably is fine.
Okay. As a sign of goodwill, I will try and cast healing on him.
Okay.
To try and at least like help with his limp
Mm-hmm.
and potentially some of the scarring. That is an 8.
An 8.
So it heals a 1 ally. So it's 3 heal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave it up to you if that helps with his limp at all.
Okay. Yeah. So you begin casting this, and he kind of recoils at first, but then you see this kind of like glow pass over his body, and he definitely has this expression of relief that it did do something. So he is much healthier, and he says, "Thanks. Looks, I gotta get back to work. All right, and you know what? If you find who's doing these murders, do us a favor and like fuck them up, because I don't want anything to do with it. We are a peaceful pack, all right? Not like the other ones.
Other ones.
Yeah. We're the Northern Hill Pack, and then the Southern Hill Pack, like, they've been known to maybe take out a camper too. But, like, it's been a long time too, and I don't know. They have some leader down there. I don't know what her name is, but she's, I think, been kind of riling up a bit.
Where can we find this other pack?
And he gives you the location of a campground up in the hills, where, like, if you go off the beaten path, you might find an old ramshackle cabin where they tend to hang around.
Well, I appreciate your help. We're sorry that you got hurt last night. Hopefully your wounds will heal with some help. We'll talk to, and I gestured to the guy up front. We'll talk to him, and his name is
Franklin.
Franklin. Okay. And the leader of Southern Hill Wolfpack is?
I don't know what her name is. I just know that she's kind of new. Took over the pack here, I don't know, a few months ago. Maybe 6 months ago.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry, what was your name?
Fuck you.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Well, we'll talk to Franklin and we'll ask him your name.
All right. So, before we moved on, you did have 2 more held in your read a bad situation. Did you want to use those?
Do they have to be with that situation, or is there just in the whole room?
It's for this scene. So
Okay.
whatever is happening in this room or immediately outside of it is part of the scene. So.
I don't know.
So, as a reminder, the written questions are: what's my best way out? What's my best way in? What are the dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? And what's the best way to protect the victims?
Maybe protecting the victims?
What victims? Like victims in the room, like,
Well,
or
I
is
don't
that
think the
victims? Is that like ambiguous victims?
It might be, you might be able to ask it and it'd be ambiguous. It might not have to be they're physically in the room. I don't
Mhm.
know.
And I mean, if you have any other questions pertaining to the mystery that might help you in this scene, then I'll accept those as well.
It doesn't really seem like this is it's more of a tense situation than a bad situation, right? Like we're not really in any danger at the moment.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say, like, now that you've talked to this kid, like, you are a little more at ease. Like, it sounds like this was kind of a miscommunication. And that, like, whoever's involved, this particular group or pack might not have had anything to do with it, but they might have been curious just because it does implicate them heavily. Are you doing anything else in the shop? Or you want to talk to anyone else?
We'll probably talk to Franklin, but we don't need to do it right now. We can jump to the other.
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead. We pull into Rapid City First Precinct. Probably their only precinct, but sure. And the Rapid City Police Station. And which car did you take?
Probably my car.
Okay, so this really nicely kept station wagon pulls in, and two well-dressed people get out and go into the station. Is there anything you're doing before you enter the station?
No.
Okay.
Do you want to lead, or do you want me to lead? You do. You can do it.
That's fine.
Okay. So you saunter in, and there is a desk there to greet you with a female officer, dark hair. Looks like she might be of native descent, but she has her hair pulled back in a braid, and she has her nose down, writing on some forms. What do you do?
Yeah, so I walk up, show my badge. Hi, I'm Special Agent David Fox. This is my partner Toni. We are following some leads on a string of murders that have apparently been going on here. I guess you have a body of a professor that's from a few days ago. We would like access to see the body.
She looks up at you with kind of like a sideways like smirk, and why don't you roll manipulate someone?
Eight.
Okay. So they do what you ask, but only if you do something for them right now to show you mean it. So this lady isn't probably the one you need to convince. She rolls her eyes and gets on the phone and says, "Hey, yeah, I think we got some feds up front. All right." And she says, "You're gonna have to go talk with the captain. Down the hall and to the right, Captain Ricky."
Ricky. He's down.
Yep.
Down this way.
Yep, down the hall to the right.
Okay. I'll go and I will. I'll knock on the captain's door, I guess.
Okay. So, Captain yells, "Come in!"
All right.
And you walk inside, and you see an older man and balding. He has a button-up shirt on. It's Probably a little more casual than you're expecting. There is a mustard stain on his right side. Has some slacks on. They're a little dirty near the cuffs. He might have worn these for a few days. And he's a little portly. Probably doesn't take care of himself that well, but he looks up at you and says, "What the fuck does the feds want in my jurisdiction?"
That doesn't matter to you.
Fuck, it doesn't.
Well,
Man, I've been patrolling these streets since I was a green rookie right out of the academy. All right? You're going to come in here and tell me how to run my fucking city?
I'm not telling you how to do anything. I'm just asking for access to the bodies.
Yeah, well,
You
that
can
is an
run this place
ongoing
however
murder
you want.
investigation, and I don't see how the FBI has jurisdiction here.
I don't see how you could have 50 dead people and not know who the killer is yet.
It's looking mighty suspicious.
Very suspicious.
See, when you start having that many deaths, hell, you start having a whole lot less than that. You start getting people back at the Capitol wonder what's going on.
Go ahead and roll manipulate someone again.
Can I assist? I'm gonna assist.
Please assist if you'd like.
Ooh! I succeed.
What does that do? I don't.
You get a +1 forward.
Hell yeah.
+1 to your roll.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or no, that'd be 11.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
The captain rolls his eyes and says, "Fuck it. I don't get paid enough to deal with the feds," and so he
this way.
kicks away
We'll
from
take the
his
stress off.
desk and pulls open a drawer and grabs a bunch of keys and kind of pushes past you and says, "This way." And he leads you down the hallway a little further until you get to a large steel door that leads into the coroner's area. And there are these like stainless steel doors that line either side of this room. It's a fairly large room. You see a couple of stainless steel metal tables in the middle of the room with some rolly trays full of implements like scalpels and such. Clearly where they do the autopsies. And then he says, "All right, it's right down here," and he takes you to a door and wheels out this gurney. And inside you do see a middle-aged man, very, very badly mutilated. He has like claw marks down his chest, and just blood everywhere. Just his eyes are still kind of like open and a little glossed over from being dead for a few days. And you see just this subtle like steam of like the frost coming off of him since he was in the deep freeze. Yeah.
Captain, we're also gonna need access to the crime scene photos and any forensic documentation.
Fuck. All right, fine.
For all the cases, please.
Yeah, knock yourself out. I'll be right back. And he walks out the door and leaves.
It's only one body.
Yeah, there is only one body.
And you do see next to this body, the door next to it does read what's it called? It does say Matthias, comma Marie. So
Oh, Well, I'll pop that one open too.
Okay, so you pull that open, and if the first body was enough to wrench your stomach, this one just takes the cake. It's hardly recognizable. Like, I'm sure if she wasn't in her own home, you wouldn't be able to identify her. She is just mauled and eviscerated. In fact, like towards the midsection of her body, like there's her torso, and then there's her legs, and there isn't really an abdomen anymore.
We're at the heart.
So
Yeah, that's definitely where that goes.
Yep. Just put it on the thing. I'm gonna go to the prep table, grab some long ass gloves and one of those plastic gown things, suit up. I don't know.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
like arm
Yep.
gloves.
Yep. And I'm going to investigate a mystery.
okay.
Right? That's more
Go,
investigate a mystery than read a bad situation. Yeah.
Hey,
yes, this is definitely investigate a mystery. So
hey, what hair color did you say Toni has?
Just brown hair.
It would have been like this would have been like even more like great if it was red.
Red hair. Her hair turns red. No, but Trixie has red hair.
Trixie
That's
does have
true.
red
Trixie has
hair.
red hair.
Okay.
Well,
So go ahead and roll your investigate a mystery.
oh, it's only a 6. I'm gonna use. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna use a luck point.
All right. Mark off a luck. So we treat that as a 12. So you do get to hold 2. And you do get the experience even because you did fail.
They did fail. Yep.
You're
Oh.
Are you working on Maria or which body? are
I'm
you-
gonna start with the professor.
Okay.
So, let's see, what do I want? Let's see. Well, I know what happened.
Yeah.
Let's start and see if there's anything being concealed here that I don't see in the body. I'll just start.
Okay.
I'll just get in there. I'll get in the chest cavity.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you're digging in there and definitely checking out like the claw marks
Mhm.
and such.
Let me see if there's
you
any more
definitely see,
amethyst
like,
like bits or anything.
More of this, like in all the gore and the eviscerated guts and like blood, like it would be hard to see, but since you've seen it and you've kind of been looking for it, you flashed a flashlight into some of these wounds, and you do see chunks of these broken off like amethyst rocks and more of this purple glitter, and like you see it in the claw marks itself, and you
God, this guy looks like he
Do you-
got attacked by a pinata full of glitter. Like there's
Mhm.
there's glitter. I don't understand where the glitter is coming from, unless
It gets everywhere, you know.
I understand. I've been to a rave. But-
you do see that the heart is also missing from the professor.
Well, this guy's missing his heart
Well,
too.
so I look back at the other heart. Huh. Shit.
I mean, it's hard to tell, really. All hearts kind of look the same.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna collect some of this glitter in a jar
I
Okay.
and
imagine
some of the
they have.
amethyst shards.
I imagine they've got
Sounds good.
This is something we should show
testing.
Susie. I mean, like the only thing I can think of is, well, Michael said something about fairies.
Oh, this is definitely
And
not
and
a
I've
werewolf.
seen Peter Pan and Tinkerbell has fairy dust. Look how glittery. Obviously, that's a children's cartoon, but like
No, I know
everything
where
is
you're going with this.
everything
yeah.
related to fiction goes back to fact eventually, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we're not looking for a werewolf at all.
I
never
haven't
thought we
thought that
were.
for
Once
a
I
while.
started finding amethyst shards, I really didn't think it was
Things
werewolves.
started looking a little too suspicious once we started finding things that don't seem to fit.
Fairies? I've never even heard of them. They're not on the top 10 list of monsters or mythical creatures that attack people.
Well, for what it's worth, I think everything can exist. So
I mean, I think everything can exist either, but I've never come across stories, articles, or even cases of people being attacked by fairies. Vampires, yes. Werewolves, yes. Sea monsters, also yes.
I want to try and so I guess maybe I don't know if this could work through my connect the dots.
Okay.
Because I still have 2 hold on that.
Right.
Thinking back to any of the like fringe cases that I had received, like all those like unsolvables that were given to me, is there anything in those that maybe like I might remember or recognize, like, oh, you know what, there is something that connects, it sounds familiar here.
Right. Yeah, I would say you've definitely like searching and I think, yeah, I would say you've noticed that like there have been some strange disturbances where like gemstones are found. They seem very sparse though. Like you don't see this every day. And you haven't really seen a case like this. Like most of what you've read was like history. Like you haven't seen a case like this since probably, I don't know, the 60s. It's been a while. So it's really strange that all of a sudden it should crop up while you're investigating this.
Okay.
I still have one more question.
You do.
This isn't really on here, but I kind of want to see, we obviously saw that they were tied up. Or he was tied up, like they were trying to get information from him, and I don't know if I can figure that out from looking at a body. I'm trying to think of what I can look at a body. So
what are you on?
I'm doing investigate a mystery, but none of these questions really fit for looking at a body, so I'm trying to think.
Well, they do have the flexible.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what would be a good question for, like, obviously I want to know what kind of creature it is, but I think I need to do more research to learn more about habits of other creatures before I can figure that out. So maybe see if I can get a better picture about, like, what this creature is capable of doing, the what can it do thing. Like, there are obviously, like, false like claw marks, but underlying it, maybe there's a real cause of death or real damage that creature would have done.
Help? Sure. Roll.
You don't have to help. This is my second question.
Oh, this is on your.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You had a whole.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'll say. So you start examining this body thoroughly. You see there are clearly burn marks around the wrists, and around the ankles where the body was tied up. You do see claw marks, and you're looking around, and hold on. One interesting thing you see is like blood that like dripped from the ears, like trickled down the side of his neck from the ear. as almost like his eardrum got punctured or something.
Is his
and,
cranial cavity still attached? Or do they do?
Yeah. So the cranium is still attached, but you also like around the claws, like there are some spots that like look just kind of like you've kind of found a lot of the glitter and the stones and stuff, like pieces that broke off, and like just like looking at the body and almost like pretending you had the ability to like claw this man up, like it had to have been attached to a creature. Like this is clearly a claw mark, and it looks like an animal did it, but also obviously the werewolves were probably not the likely culprit. So when all the obvious answers are gone, you're left with the fact that maybe this is a creature pretending to be a werewolf. And that means it's a shape changer pretending to be a shape changer.
Do you know anything about shape changers?
I've had cases where, I mean, there's definitely some things unexplained. The best thing I could think of is something changed form, but of course, obviously, holy shit.
Sorry, not my phone.
That was kind of my suspicions, but the difficulty with something like that is,
Could be anyone.
well,
Could be
yeah,
anything.
anyone, and we don't know what they can shift into.
I mean, it could be a shapeshifter, or it could be some kind of magical entity that can change their form a little bit different. You know, like I've read about old gods, tricksters, things like that. They can make themselves appear differently. I haven't come across any myself, but that doesn't mean they're not out there.
You know, I wonder if okay.
I mean, like,
Let's
there was a
see.
fertility goddess who had a heyday at a college campus a few years ago.
Around this time, the captain returns, Captain Ricky, and he slaps down a manila folder with filled with papers on one of the clean tables, and says, "Here's everything we got on the case, at least their case. I mean, if you need anything else, I'll be in my office. Don't leave with these files." And he leaves again.
As soon as he leaves, I take my gloves off and my gown off, and I hand you a camera.
Well,
That's
you
a
can
lot of
keep
files.
these, we'll just
And I'm going to look at the autopsy reports.
Okay. You look at the autopsy reports, and like mostly what you saw, like obviously there's large like perpendicular slash marks, indicative of an animal attack. However, hearts were methodically removed from both victims.
Does it say what part?
And there are obviously rope burns around the wrists and ankles of the male deceased. Female was heavily damaged, especially in the abdominal region. And female was, you start flipping through kind of about the crime scene. They found the male tied to the bed with a big gash down his center, which they assume killed him. Not to mention the removal of his heart. And then the female had been strung up inside of the closet, and just left there. You didn't open the closet, so you never saw any gore in there. But yeah, she was hung up in there.
Does it say?
And then just flipping through, you do see that the two boys were found. They were in their room when officers came, and the boys were handed over to social services, which came within an hour of the investigation, and a lady took them away.
Is there a statement, a witness statement from either of the boys?
The oldest, Teddy Jr., he did mention something of a hulking, furry figure that opened their door and just stood breathing and staring at them, but then turned and walked away. He did talk about hearing all the screams. The youngest boy was just catatonic. He would not speak to anyone, and rarely even responded to anyone. Quite traumatized.
It's kind of what I experienced with the werewolf when last night.
You know, what if it isn't something else at all that did it? What if it was maybe actually one of these werewolves, but maybe instead of them, maybe they did it under some sort of influence.
By something else?
Well, if we need to find out more about what this powder stuff is, but maybe...
Did Susie give you her number?
Did she? Oh, it was on the card.
She gave you a card.
Yeah.
We should call her and see if she has time to meet with us to go over what we found out. Maybe she has some information on creatures that take hearts that leave glitter and dust and amethyst shards. I mean,
yeah,
she seems experienced in this sort of thing.
Also, get blood samples.
Oh, good idea. I go
From
get some more gloves, get some more vials.
Definitely, I want to know who that heart belongs to.
Should we keep the heart?
Maybe.
I'll get in touch with the forensics guy here.
Yeah, I think blood samples so that we can try and make connections, get any DNA that we need.
This is only the reports from this case. I'd like to see reports from other cases too.
We'll have to have a chat with the captain on the rest of those. Mm-hmm. Well, the good news is the kids are fine.
That's good.
As the Who would say, the kids are all right.
Mm-hmm. I really like the Who.
Wait, what? You don't, or you do?
I don't.
No, you don't. Okay.
The songs are all really long.
It's just a thing.
Okay, so you wrap up your autopsy and flipping through this file, and I assume head back to Captain Rookie to harass him some more for other files on this case.
Hey, bitch!
And possibly a phone to call Susie with. So
You ain't give me no goddamn files we asking for.
And not wanting to rock the boat, he does give you access to these files, if only begrudgingly, and dragging his feet the whole way. So
We're gonna need a
with
pot
that-
of coffee and a room.
yeah, he takes you to a conference room and sets down a box of case files, and you start to flip through those.
What's this?
Let's go back to the other two. So Michael and Trixi, you have just interviewed this young boy who was the wolf that attacked you last night. You're going to talk to the old man?
Franklin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think we should ask Franklin? Do you think we should ask him about the other camp?
Yeah, I think we should
Or
ask him what he knows about this female leader and if she really is violent, and if he thinks they're the ones maybe responsible for these attacks, if it's not their pack.
yeah, he might also know about the Shay, but
Yeah.
he might also be unwilling to talk to us, so we might have to put on some flirtation or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Charming?
Yes, I didn't want to use that word, but yes. Do you want me to talk, or do you want to ask the questions?
We can go up and see who he responds to and go from there maybe. Who knows what he's into.
I like that. Okay, but let's go up and see if he's willing to at least talk to us.
Should we
Okay.
pretend to buy something maybe, or do you just want to walk up and say, "Hey, we talked to your"? Because he saw us talking to the other guy. I don't know if we got his name.
Yes. And clearly this older gentleman was directing some of the younger gentlemen's conversation with a glance. So
We can bring up something so that other people don't get suspicious of why we're talking to him. So let's grab a toy
Yeah,
and go up and pretend like we're buying it, but really we'll be grilling him.
okay.
perfect.
So you grab a Ninja Turtle.
Perfect.
And head up to the counter.
Yeah.
What are you saying to this man?
First, I think we'll gauge his interest in us. Like, does he give us a look of disgust? Does he?
He gives you this stonewall look. He's just glaring at you as you approach the front counter.
Pretty hard to read.
Yeah. Does he have a name tag on?
He does not.
Oh.
Oh, you guys know his
But we
name.
know. Well, yeah, I just didn't know if
Yeah.
it'd be like, yeah. Can we walk up to the counter with the Ninja Turtle and put it there and just say, "Morning, Franklin, I hear is your name."
Yeah, that's my name.
Perfect. I don't know if you know us. Mickey, this is Trixi. We're from out of town. Just in shopping and seeing if you know anything that might be of interest.
Well, I know that you hurt my grandson.
Oh, I helped with that. I helped.
Yes, I know you helped
No,
hurt my grandson.
I helped fix the problem.
Yeah. It was kind of a wax on, wax off situation.
Yeah. tended to his wounds?
Well, I tell you what. If you leave town, I promise we won't go after any of your own. We just want to live in peace, damn it.
And we're happy that you want to live in peace. We want to find the people who are hurting the other people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That your
Well-
man said you just wanted to talk, but that's what we want to do. We want to talk. We just want to figure out what's going on.
Well, then you need to talk to the South Hills.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing. There's a new female leader. What's her
Yeah.
name? What's she all about?
Well, that bitch Samantha.
That sounds like a bitch.
She took over the pack about 6 months ago, I suppose. And that's when the killings started happening. And I tried to be a good pack leader. I went over there. I talked with her. She wouldn't listen. Said something about how hunters were encroaching on her territory. I ain't never seen a hunter over there, even alone for the most part. Honestly, we've been tracking some of these murders. We just don't want any blame coming back to us, if you understand.
Right, yes. I mean, it's not your fault that someone of your same type of person,
Background?
thank you, background is doing something similar that you don't want to be associated with. That is very fair.
That's one of the most reasonable things I've heard in a long time. Is there anything else I can do for you folks?
Why do you think she instituted this such violent correspondence? Or why do you think she took over to do this?
Look, she's not like us. We are generational wolves. I was born this way. My son was born this way. My grandson was born this way. We inherit the gift. People like Samantha, on the other hand, they get a little nip, get a full moon, they transform, and, well, most of them are just wild raging beasts, but Samantha's a little different. She's got a little more control than the others. Now she thinks she's hot shit. And I have it on good authority that she's eaten a few people in town. He kind of hushes a little bit when he says that because some customers come up to the counter. Says, "Oh, I'll take care of you here, folks." And he goes over to a different register than the one you're at and rings them up real quick. Waves at them and smiles, and they wave and smile back. And then he turns back to you, and his expression just drops again and says, "Well, anything else?"
Do we have like the location of the campground, like GPS? Could we get there?
Well, GPS isn't really a thing yet, but I think the younger wolf did tell you, but if you ask again, the older man will say you just take, the main road this way, and then there's a well-maintained gravel road about 5 miles to the west.
Okay. Well, the last thing we have for you is, do you know anything about the Shay? Does that sound familiar?
The sheep.
The She, thank you.
You say the sheet, and he goes, too much. My grandfather was Irish. He would talk about the Sidhe. I mean, I think it's just a bunch of fairy tales. I mean, it's just, stories of King of the Fairies, and, it's sending his agents out into the world to take people and make them servants and stuff like that. And how you're not supposed to step into fairy rings and stuff. I don't know. That was a long time ago. I don't remember those old stories.
I'll dig in my bag again for the amethyst, and I'll say, "Does this ring a bell to you?"
It's a pretty rock. I don't know what it is.
What about? And I'll pull out some fairy dust that we got from the amethyst dust. Sorry. What about this?
That's some nice glitter you have. We have more in aisle 5 if you want some in arts and crafts.
Oh, that's okay. I can't think of anything else that we need. Do you, Michael?
I think that covers it. I feel like we know a little bit more now than we did. Have a new lead.
Okay. All right. So are you guys heading out then?
Yeah. I actually will buy the Ninja Turtle.
Okay. So you slap some money on the counter and the guy takes it. As you're walking out, it's almost like a pin dropped. Like there's a sudden silence. And then you feel it's almost like someone pushing you in the back, but with extreme heat mixed with it as you are propelled forward through the glass doors of the store as the entire building explodes.
Oh,
and
shit.
that's where we're going to end.
What the
What?
fuck? No!
Oh shit!
You throwing stuff over there, Christian?
It escaped me.
And so thank you, folks, for joining us again on our exciting in-between season of Monster of the Week. Hope you join us next weekend for the exciting conclusion of the stories that are in motion. Again, this is going to be a 6-part season, so we still got 4 more to go. Hopefully a lot more action to cover.
Well, if you blow up half the cast, I don't know.
Thank you again for joining us. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and your favorite podcast platform. Thank you and good night.
Christian's reaction, though.